creating and using a database. In the previous video we saw creating and selecting a database, so right now we're gonna see creating a table. Creating the database is the easy part, but at this point it is empty, as show tables tells you. So we're gonna go into our terminal. You can go into your MySQL terminal. I'm gonna go into my Windows PowerShell terminal. I'm gonna type in MySQL space -u, and then it's gonna be root, my username, then space -p for prompt me for my password. So I'm gonna type in my password. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, it let me enter into my SQL, and now what I'm gonna use, I'm gonna make it bigger, so I'm gonna use the okay, so the name of our database, it was Menagerie, so we're gonna type in Menagerie like that, and you don't have to type in the semicolon at the end. So database change. So right now what we are gonna type in is show tables with a semicolon at the end. So we're gonna type in uppercase letters, show tables like that, and semicolon at the end. So, and as you can see here, it appears empty set, just as, let's close this one, just as this examples, empty set. So here the harder part is deciding what the structure of your database should be, what tables you need to, and what columns should be in each of them. You want a table that contains a record for each of your pets. This can be called the pet table, and it should contain, as a bare minimum, each animal's names. Because the name by itself is not very interesting, the table should contain other information. For example, if more than one person in your family keeps pets, you might want to list each animal's owner. You might also want to record some basic descriptive information such as the species and sex. How about age? That might be of interest, but it is not a good thing to store in a database, as age changes as time passes, which means you'd have to update your records often. Instead, it is better to store a fixed value such as date of birth. Then whenever you need age, you can calculate it as the difference between the current date and the birth date. MySQL provides functions for doing date arithmetic, so this is not difficult. Storing birthday rather than age has other advantages too. Namely, you can use the database for tasks such as generating reminders for upcoming pet birthdays. If you think this type of query is somewhat silly, know that it is the same question you might ask in the contents of a business database to identify clients to whom you need to send out birthday greetings in the current week of or month for the computer assistant person touch. You can calculate age in relation to dates other than the current date. For example, if you store a death date in a database, you can easily calculate how old a pet was when it died. You can probably think of other types of information that would be useful in the pet table, but ones identified so far are sufficient. Name, owner, species, sex, birth, and death. And here we have use create table is statement to specify the layout of your table. And remember, the statements are in capital letters. So let's see. Okay, so create table. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna type in create. Let's make it like that. Create table like that. And pet has to be in lowercase letters, so we're gonna open and close parentheses. So name, and then we're gonna type in varchar, and again open and close parentheses, and we're gonna pass in the number 20. Okay, outside of this parentheses, comma, and then we're gonna type in lowercase again, and it's gonna be owner, and again space, and we're gonna type in varchar. Okay, varchar, open close parentheses, and remember, has to be, this varchar has to be in uppercase letters, then the number 20, and again comma again. This time we're gonna have in lowercase, it's gonna be species. Okay, species. Okay, and again varchar, open close parentheses, we're gonna pass in 20, again another comma, sex, it has to be in lowercase letters. And okay, let me see. Okay, it's gonna be lowercase, and then we're just gonna pass in char and open close parentheses, pass in the number 1. Then we're gonna pass in birth, okay, like that, and in uppercase letters date, and okay, without parentheses, comma, and then okay, so it's gonna be date, and then it's gonna be comma, and then lowercase letters death, and then in uppercase letter it's just gonna be date. And we are gonna end up this statement with a semicolon. So we're gonna type in the semicolon, and we're gonna press enter. And let me see, what do we have here? You have an error, check out manual correct, create table pet. So we have the name, okay, bar chart. Okay, so let me see. Okay, if we go here, name, I think I messed it up here, bar, okay, bar chart, okay, name is bar chart, owner, bar chart, species, okay, I miss bar chart, and I have the date, we're passing just 1, and okay, so let me see. Okay, so now let's press enter. Okay, so yeah, I omitted the letter A in the bar chart. So let me see MySQL, okay, query, okay, 0 rows affected, okay. Bar chart is a good choice for the name, owner, and species columns. So as we can see here, because the column values vary in length, the lengths in those columns definitions need not all be the same and need not be 20. You can normally pick any length from 1 to 65,535, whatever seems most reasonable to you. If you make a poor choice and it turns out later that you need longer field, MySQL provides an alter table statement. Okay, so several types of values can be chosen to represent sex and animal records such as M and F, or perhaps male and female. It is simplest to use the single characters M and F and single quotes. The use of the data type for the birth and death columns, it is fairly obvious choice. Once you have created a table, show table should produce some output. So let's go here and just type in show tables like that. And we miss up the semicolon. And here we have the tables, and the table is tables underscore n underscore menagerie. And in the second row we have the pet. So we have these two tables. So now, to verify that your table was created the way you expected, use a describe statement. So right now we're gonna go again into our terminal, and we are gonna type in describe pet, and then we're gonna type in the describe statement in uppercase letters. So it's gonna be describe like that, and the pet is gonna be in lowercase, and we're gonna end up this statement with a semicolon. So we press enter, and here we have the field. We have 1 2 3 5 columns. So we have the field column, the type column, null column, the key, the following, and extra. And then we have the rows: name, owner, species, sex, birth, and death. And as you can see, the name, the owner, and the species, it has a bar chart with a length of 20, and the sex just has a chart with a length of 1. Then we have the birth and the death, just date, and then null is set to yes, and the default is set to null. So that's pretty much it. Okay, so here you can use describe anytime. For example, if you forget the names of the columns in your table of what types they have. For more information about MySQL data types, see chapter 11 data types, so you can check out that.